speed as well. Zergling speed is really good to have. I would have got the Zergling speed before technical lair. Alright, and you finally see him moving out. Okay, he is an immortal. You have no idea that he went Robotech. It would have been good for you to have known that. But it looks like I think you're gonna have enough to hold this off, especially with your 2 spine crawlers. And alright, and during this time, pause the game, let's see what you're doing. You're making 5 roaches, good. Alright, and there are injects on the hatchery, so that's good. As soon as the battle starts, I want you to make sure that you have injected and that you are making units, because that's the most important. You're going to want to reinforce as soon as possible. And not much you can do here against these force fields. You could move back a bit, but that's fine. Good thing you have these spines here, but I would have rather you scouted out that you needed spines before just putting them down blindly. Just because if you put those 2 down blindly, you don't know if he's going to be attacking or not. And those are just 2 drones that could have been mining instead. Alright, you have your Zergling here that's miraculously survived, so you know he's not moving back, so he's probably stationed right outside here. And he is reinforcing with some zealots. You are going over here, you're going to want to scout out if he does have an expansion or not. But right now you should be making lots of units. And it would be really good if you had metabolic boost right now. Alright, and more immortals. So right now, lots of Zerglings is what you need. You have to stop production of roaches. You're going to need a lot of Zerglings because roaches just die to immortals. Immortals are not good. Not good for roaches, I mean. Okay, continue injecting. You should be feeling a sense of urgency right now. You need to be making as many units as possible. Keep making overlords, keep making Zerglings, and you are not doing it. Look at this. You have so many extra larvae just sitting around, and you have 400 minerals. You really could be spending that, and you could also be injecting right now. And if you're going to lose this game, this is going to be the reason why you lose, because you're not injecting, you're not spending your money, and you're not making units. You should be just making straight Zerglings right now. And what are you doing right now? You aren't making anything. Nothing is in production. And you know that he's just sitting outside your base. Alright, and some overloads need to be made as well. Oh, I'm a normal, that's why it's so slow. Okay, you're putting down another spine crawler, that's okay. But I would rather you be making units right now, making overlords and making units. You have so much money. And you're making roaches. I don't think roaches are such a good idea, especially since you've seen at least 3 immortals in his army. You're going to be making lots of Zerglings. That's what you need right now. Okay, and you are making overlords. Very good. Alright, right now it's a good idea to send out a Zergling to see where his army's at, and there he is. Alright, and with this, oh, there's 4 immortals there. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hold this off. And those force fields are really good. When you force fields do like this, you feel free to move back. It's a little late. You could have moved back a lot earlier and maybe saved a few units. And it's possible that you could hold this off, but you have so much money and a lot of larvae saved still. All those larvae could have been Zerglings, and you definitely would have been able to clean this up right now. Let's pause the game right now. Let's move back a few seconds. Alright. Okay, so everything's going well. You're not making Zerglings. That's... Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 roaches. You have 7 roaches here versus 4 immortals, 3 sentries, 2 sentries, and 2 stalkers, and a few zealots. Maybe 1 zealot. 2 zealots. Okay. In this case, if you made these Zerglings a lot earlier, those were sitting around for a while. These would have been out already. This would have been 16 Zerglings in addition to your 7 roaches, and this would have been cleaned up so easily. Yeah, that definitely would have been cleaned up so much more easily. And right now you also should be keeping on top of your injections. If this was injected, maybe you have another set of larvae popping out quite soon. And if he was somehow able to hold this force off, these 7 roaches plus those 16 Zerglings that should have been out, you have another round of units that are going to come clean them up. And with your unit production, if you kept up with your unit production, your 2 hatcheries, your 2 queens, and your income right now should totally overwhelm Antrally here, and you should be able to hold this off. But right now, it doesn't look like you're going to hold off just because your macro slipped just a bit. So I'm just going to play right now and see how it happens. And Immortals do 50 damage versus armored units, which are roaches, so kill those pretty quickly. I'm going to kill these pretty quickly as well, and that actually looks like a maybe game. You do have a bunch of Zerglings coming out, and it would have been very beneficial for you to have speed as well. Alright, and it looks like you're going to lose this hatchery, and losing that hatchery most likely spells out game for Zerg. You're putting down some spine calls right now, but that's just in desperation. Where you went wrong here is exactly what I was talking about. You kind of forgot to be making units, and that is the most important thing you should be doing at that moment when you have an impending attack. Yeah, so you just have to keep up with your injects, keep up with your production, and also know your unit counters. Not saying that Zerglings are going to counter this army like perfectly. You just have to know that Zerglings are good against Immortals. Look at the 17 kills, probably mostly roaches, 15 kills on this Immortal. Well, yeah, so you just got to know that what unit composition you're going to need to deal with this army. This army right now, pure Zerglings would clean it up so easily. If you see a Stalker Zealot army, if it was more Zealot heavy, more roaches would have been better. But an Immortal and Stalker army, pure Zerglings would have cleaned this up so easily. And if they had speed, it would have been helpful as well. Alright, looks like you're just going to lose the rest of your units right now, and that should be game. Okay, so, what I want you to be working on here is your macro, of course. Keep injecting, keep making units when you need units. You knew that you needed the units there. Another thing you need to work on is your scouting a bit. These Overlords could have been in place a lot sooner, maybe seen that he was going for a very Immortal heavy build, and in response to that you could have made a lot more Zerglings and a lot less roaches, and roaches don't do very well against Immortals. So just work on your scouting and your macro. Just like every other player out there, we all need to work on our scouting and macro, especially as Zerg. Alright, so thank you for watching.